in the air, and the smell is hypnotic with a strawberry switch blunt with a whole lot of chronic in a pocket with a wallet with a whole lot of nada. I be stressed, but it got me in the ethereal mode with a serious soul in a cereal bowl. Like I'm searching for the sunflower, I'ma go on the road, but keep my mind open, infinite like the Konami code. Hip hop is my soul. Hope you looking when he's rapping. B-boy spinning to the beat like Mugen when he's scrapping. I'm jugging and I'm lapping on my way to Shangri-La. But some live, some die in the way of the samurai. Hear my battle cry. I might stay late and keep my fresh on the sideways 8. Yeah, I might make babes. All I need is some risotto and a cosplay chick that was born in Kyoto. Why? But that's a no-no if I ain't got that protection B. I keep my sword sheath. I don't need no BM stressing me. I wonder if there's a message, G, when I hear these new rappers. I ain't hating you rappers, but I prefer the boom bappers. It's the truth rappers, it's the war of the words. And I'm standing on top the castle representing the third. I guess you ain't heard. I'm following my destiny, following the God of fools, father to the death of me. A cross on my chest and resolve in my heart. Ain't shit you can do to bring a stop to this march. Bring a stop to this art. You must be JK, and I grab the mic and get loud like an AK spraying, and I stay laying this heat over beats. I got the resolve of a beast, so girl, put your knees over these shoulders right here. They holding up the world already. Mujushin style stabbings got your girl all sweaty. Ah, you mad, bro? My bad, I'm in my zone. Miyamoto Musashi with the microphone. The best squad in the city is watching my back. I might hit you with a two-piece like Mataza the Zap. I'm just talking that crap. I'm a peaceful warrior, and my flow Mega Man. I'll defeat and absorb ya while I'm hungover off gin and soda. I'm a fucking hero, dog, man. I beat Genova. Word to Jehovah, right hand on the rhyme. The way I'm rapping these lines, so you can examine my mind. Take a step inside, don't be afraid. I'll let the beat lead me while I lead the way. And I seen today, as I read the sermon, that all I can tell you's only death is certain. But the way of the samurai is found in death. You might hear a lot of deep shit, but mine sounds the best. Yes, yeah. This one, baby. KV Anime on the beat. Hood Hemingway.
Hey. What up, what up, what up? Welcome to Accelerated Live, and I'm here with my bottom bitch, Tom Penoid, the only gorilla silverback with the pure silver coat. What's up, man? How you been doing?
I feel like you bitched that motherfucker up terrible. that was fucking awful.
I tried. Give me an E for effort, at least.
E. Yo, F's in the chat, motherfucker. Like, yo, F's in the goddamn chat.
What? Fuck that, dude. I want my fucking participation trophy for trying to introduce. I just like randomly like when I hit live, I was just like, that's what I should do with Tom P in the stream. And I was just trying to think, how do I spin this into a way that sounds like Tom P? And I was like thinking about it on the fly, which is why I tripped up on my words. Because I had no idea what I was gonna say before I said it.
Yeah, so you gotta you gotta plan that shit out a little bit.
I know. It's like that shit they tell people. They warn you, like, think about what you're gonna say before you say it.
Like, yo, like, that's when I'm on stream with gaming, right? And I'm like, what up, and welcome to Penoid Live, right? I'm here with my bottom bitch, my partner, my muse, the only YouTuber with a bedazzled face, motherfucking gaming and yelling, what up, right? You know what I'm saying?
You only replaced, like, one word.
Yo,
I tried to replace several.
Yeah, can't change it too much, right?
I should have said the only YouTuber with a bedazzled silver coat.
Yeah. See,
If I would
there
have
we
done
go.
that, I would
That
have kept
worked.
it simple, and it wouldn't have taken that much effort.
The only silverback with a silver coat on his back. I'm like, like what? Like I'm out here rocking a Michael Jackson wearing shit. You know what I'm saying? With one glove, like dun 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 dun, baby. No, god damn it. But anyway, what's going on with y'all fellas tonight, man? I caught a bunch of your stream earlier. It was nice to see you. You know what I'm saying? Mentally ejaculate. You know what I mean?
like me having free range just to go off on the topics I wanted to talk about, and then let Irate and Atima try to digest it. Yeah, it's dude, it's something like I think it's inexplicitly like I think it's intertwined with everything that we talk about politically. It's just I feel a little bit different than you do, where I think it's very important to understand where this shit is coming from and why it's bullshit from an academic level.
Yeah, see, I just think okay. See, like here's my thing, right? Like I always feel like a good defense is your best offense, right? Like you should be solid in your understanding of self and knowing what you stand for. And then whatever the fuck it is that they're doing, you know what I mean? You look at it and you measure it by what the fuck you're doing and you go, well, that seems fucking retarded. And then you just like, you know what I mean, walk the fuck away.
And then hold on real quick. What's up, Joshua Dimmers? Yeah, I messaged him, Full Metal Joker, and you. I'm actually surprised. I don't know. Full Metal. Fuck Josh. Drug you down. You left.
Same time.
What up, man?
But do you want to say like still like
Not much.
with what's going
My
on?
computer's tripping out.
Get it done, man. Get it done. So, like, Excel, you were saying, like, you be trying to, like, fucking stand here and, like, take them seriously. And, like, I don't know why
Discord's
you do.
updating on my computer, so I'm over here on my mobile device to call in.
Oh, got you. Hang on. So, Excel wants to make a point here about something.
Yeah.
Right.
I actually explained it to Atima because she was making. Funny enough, you agreed. She was kind of bitching about like, why would you be charitable to these people? My answer is actually very simple. I don't necessarily extend charity to them because I know that their entire ideology is bullshit. But I will extend charity to the argument on this ideological level. The reason I'm going to do that is because I'm going to try to step myself outside of understanding why it's bullshit and try to be one of them. That way I can argue against it in a steelman fashion, right? I can take what I know about it and know their arguments for their own fucking words and even on their terms explain why it's a bad idea.
Yeah, but I mean, like, yo, like, I look at it and I go, like, what is the purpose of their thought, right? I think that's, like, the most important part is, like, why are they saying what they're saying, right? And
well, I know why they're saying what they're saying.
I believe that they're saying what they're saying just because they want to justify their own bullshit.
That's true, but this goes back to a thing I've said a billion times, where I think you have people at the top that they're basically like your bishops, right? Like they're your popes of this whole church.
I get what you're saying, right? You're saying people, like the pawns don't understand.
These people are fucking liars, right? They're just trying to do it for control. And then you have the people under there where they're priests that are spreading this, that are true believers that really understand, like they really believe it, and that's most of what we're having to deal with. And then we have a whole nother group of people that are the pawns that have been brainwashed by this. Now, the pawns that are brainwashed by this, those are the people that you might be able to break through to. If you take exactly, like you can recite their own dogma back to them and explain to them why it's wrong. And I'm not saying it's even going to be like, you know, you're going to get all of them or even 50%. But you might be able to get 10% of them out.
Okay. Well, here's the
By the way,
mentality.
what's up,
Right.
Uzi Q? Thanks for joining.
Hey Uzi, how the fuck you doing? Right. Here's the mentality. And legit, I said this, during the stream, and I'm gonna say it now. Like, the vast majority of this bullshit legit comes from the fact that we put 60% of our population through college, right? And about 65% of them were female, or 57, some shit. I don't know. It's more than 50%, right? Were female, and the vast majority of them studied liberal arts.
Yeah, hold on. You're actually doing a chicken and egg type argument. Like, what happened first? The infiltration of this postmodernist bullshit, or putting all these women through college?
Okay, so let me ask you a question. How many colleges were there in 1980 or 1960?
And I couldn't fucking tell you the answer to that question.
I can tell you the answer to that shit.
I'm
Do you wanna
sure
know?
you can.
Do you know how many colleges there were?
No, like just tell me.
500.
Yeah, tell me the difference between that and now. Like what? There's probably like
4,800.
4,800. Yep, sure.
Feel what I'm saying?
Yeah, I agree with that, but it still doesn't deny my argument. Well, what I was saying in relation to what you were saying, which is not a disagreement. It's more, again, what came first? Was it the chicken or the egg? Was it this encroachment of postmodernist nonsense that led to all these females going through college, which would be honest, if postmodernist bullshit embedded itself, what would it want to do? It would want to send demographics that are most likely to keep perpetuating the bullshit.
Well, it's not just that. It's not just that, right? What they did is here's what happened. So like we stood here and we created something, right? That we filled a need. All right. It's kind of what we did. We filled a fucking need. In the same way that we filled a need for, trying to think here, we pumped out like a shit ton of fucking engineers, and they ended up remember fucking back in like 2000 probably 4 and 5 when it was ITT and fucking KTI Institute were really really big, and we made all these like computer security fucking people and shit, right? And they all ended up not being able to find any work because like everybody took that fucking course. Do you remember that shit?
Yeah, no, I was remember I was a computer science major that didn't graduate, but
yeah. Well, I'm not talking computer science. I'm talking
no. Hold on. Like I was the person that like got all my shit offshored. Like I get it.
Right. So like, all right. So what we did was we built all those facilities, right, to stand here and like get us all these computer security motherfuckers and shit, right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And medical billing and coding people and all these type of things, right? And once we no longer needed those, you know what I'm saying? Like they basically just stood here and, fucking filled them up with whatever. And today, like KTI is doing like a bunch of truck driving and fucking diesel mechanics and fucking whatever, right? Plumbing and HVAC shit, right? Because that's, what like the void is at the moment. But with colleges, legit, like, we filled them up, right? We automatically filled them all up with, all the fucking regular shit immediately. And then like all the excess people who started going to college because like their parents were earning a decent fucking income and were able to send them through like, these college saving programs that the government had and the government backed loans and all the fucking bullshit. All those people ended up like fucking going into college, but they weren't able to do any technical skills because, as you know, at 50% of the population, you know what I'm saying, it's below 100 IQ. So they're not able to be engineers and rocket scientists and physicists and fucking whatever. You know what I mean? They're going to have to do liberal arts.
Whoa. Are you sitting there suggesting that people can't like raise their IQ by trying hard and doing stuff, and it's not caused by like some sort of cultural oppression based on these like minority groups?
Yeah,
are you trying to say that it's not racism that makes people different?
No, you either born with it or you weren't.
Yeah, I mean that's totally unacceptable based on the dogma that I've been talking about.
Yeah, look, there's some people who can lead and then there's some people who can follow. Like it is what it is.
Yeah, everything you just said is stuff that like not only do I not believe you, it all makes total sense, right? Like I get it.
Yeah.
The issue I have is there was a time where you probably would have just accepted that. Like that's just a truth of reality. And we wouldn't have went out of our ways to make an additional 2,000 colleges just to give people these rubber stamp degrees that say, "Hey, I know shit about like fucking critical dance theory or something," right?
Yeah. And this is the problem, right? Is like, so like now you have classes full of these people, right? Who legit, you know what I'm saying, are standing here going, well, you know, why aren't we engineers? Why aren't we getting jobs when we come out? Why the fuck, you know what I'm saying? Like, and it's
Well,
basically
hold
just
on.
people who are making
Also-
work.
Yeah, here's
also-
the. Well, I'm gonna let you talk, Full Metal Joker, after this because I've been interrupting you constantly. But I do want to put in one point. It's hilarious because you have all these classes full of people that are studying critical theory bullshit that are just like, I'm so mad that people that look like me aren't engineers. Why didn't you just go to fucking school for engineering, you dumb fuck? Anyway, Joker, it's on you.
Well, also, you've also got to blame the public school system because what did they do from beginning to end? They talked about how you needed to go to college if you want to be successful. You have to get a college degree instead of talking about like trade school programs that'll get you those jobs that make a lot of money.
that was the bill of goods that was sold to me 20 years ago. And apparently they're still selling it to kids today. Because 20 years ago, it was almost true. Now it's not. It's a complete lie.
Nah, like 20 years ago, you would still make more money as a plumber or somebody doing HVAC work or somebody working on fucking diesels or whatever the case might be, or as an electrician, than you ever would. Legit, ever would in fucking doing anything the fuck else.
No, like I'm sorry, I gotta stop you. 20 years ago, computer science. Oh my god, what is going on? Computer science and electrical engineers were the highest paid bachelor degree positions you could possibly get. But 4 years after that, those degrees were so oversaturated because of, like you said, all these other colleges. They were putting people through it that most people couldn't get a job. Plus, they made the coursework easier for people as time went on. Right? So these people were getting degrees in electrical engineering and computer science, and they didn't really know how to do shit when they got out.
Well, yeah. I mean, like that's basic. So, you know, you have colleges full of fucking people who are going to college for the experience and just because they're told that that's what they're supposed to do.
Yep, that's why I went to college.
Like, yeah, I went to college because they're like, hey, man, like, it's the same thing. Like, you ever heard that Chris Rock routine? They're like, you know, I mean, I went and got my GED, and they're like, hey, man, now you can go to college. And I was like, yeah, right. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't like, you know, like, I was, Chris Rock did the same shit, you know, like, fucking, they were like, you know, you can go to college. And I'm like, slow down. It's kind of obvious. High school was whooping my ass. You know what I'm saying? Like, maybe college isn't for me. You know what I mean?
Like, to be real honest, if I had the right direction from my guidance counselors, which were total bullshit, most likely I'm the type of person that probably should have went to college, right? For specific things to do, specific things to be useful in the world. And there's people like that, but it's not everybody. Not everybody should do that.
I should have had a skill coming out of high school. Right. And legit, the problem, like legit, my problem was the fact that they made me go to high school. That was my main issue.
I should have graduated from high school when I was 14.
Yeah. Like I should have never had to go to high school. Like I should have like immediately when I was old enough to work, they should have just let me work. And by the time I was fucking 18, I would have had a decent fucking job making a good fucking living.
That comes up with the bullshit where there's a certain demographic, it's really small, but nobody gives a shit about them, which is really smart people that just kind of have a dissociative bend to their personality, right? Because really smart people that are like that, they're just fucking bored when they're in high school, right? They're just bored all the time. You could fix that by putting in gifted and tracking programs to make sure that they're like doing what they want to do much earlier. But you know why we can't have that anymore?
Because everybody
gets
goes,
a
why aren't
trophy.
my fucking kids? Why aren't my fucking kids in that fucking class?
Why can't my kid be in there? It's like, well, your kid's kind of dumb.
Right. I mean, here's my issue, right? So like I go into, fucking high school and I'm looking around and I'm like, why aren't you paying me to be here? Like, cause I could easily make way more money at home, right? Like I could go to work and like I'm gonna go to work when I'm done here. I'm like when I get off the bus, I'm gonna go to fucking work and I'm gonna go make fucking money. You know what I mean? I'm gonna support myself and like I don't need to fucking be here. Legit. I don't know why the fuck I'm here as an in general thing. Like, it never made any sense. Like high school was the dumbest shit ever.
Yeah, I mean, I was like the good kid that just like did the steps that I was required to take.
I didn't need to. And that was the whole point. It's like I'm good on my own. Like I was a grown man. Like I bought my own clothes. I had my own place at 17. I was good.
Yeah, I wasn't. I'm a suburbanite white dude.
Like I was cool. I had my own car. I had my own shit. I was fine. Like I was good. I didn't need school. I didn't need college. I didn't need any of this bullshit. Like the only reason I got my GED is because most of these jobs require it. That's it.
And a lot of that has to do with something that has to go away. They made it illegal a while ago for jobs to just have their own testing criteria. Like, I know you do the trucker thing, and there's exceptions for that, but like, imagine, I'm just gonna go back to computer science, right? You need to learn coding. I knew a lot of kids growing up that were way better at coding than I did, and were terrible at school. Like, they wrote their own fucking video games and shit, while I was getting A's in the classes, and they were getting D's because they just fucking hated the classes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Those kids should have just not went to college. They should have just tested out of it at the job that they wanted to apply for. Because they had the talent. And that job should have been allowed to actually test them for the skills that they need. It's illegal. Like, you can't test people for skills at a job. Which is why these college programs are a rubber stamping thing, just to say this person has at least the bare minimum requirements to be a person that can work at your company.
Like it's the dumbest shit ever. Like there's like it all really should just be apprenticeship programs. Like every ounce of it should be. Like we don't need colleges. Like it's really fucking unnecessary to have colleges. Like it used to be like colleges were a much bigger part of our country than like anyone really realizes today. Like for instance, almost all the seeds that farmers grew came out of colleges, right? And all the research for, you know what I'm saying, new drugs and pharmaceuticals used to all come out of colleges, right? And because they were the only places with the proper labs. But now that we have companies that have better shit than like the college could ever fucking dream of, we don't need colleges. We just don't need them anymore. Like other than like maybe law, and that's still a fucking maybe.
Law and actual STEM, like real STEM.
No, even STEM, legit. If you show a proficiency in high school, in like junior high and high school at STEM, at a real STEM thing, right? If we had proper testing in fucking school, right? And you showed a real proficiency and ability to do so, would it not be better for you to fucking leave high school and go work at that fucking company as an apprentice?
Yeah,
and
actually,
make some fucking cash.
Actually, I'm gonna take out the E and the M, so just the science and technology part, because engineering and medicine could totally be addressed in that situation, like in that manner. Science itself, it has to be broader, and it's one of those things where like. Think about how many people become scientists, but actually discover something later.
Well,
very few.
None. Yeah, almost none, right? So think about it like this. Imagine if like, you know, like instead of like standing here fucking having, you know, like all this bullshit done in the public sector, have it done in the private.
I'm 100% with you there, man. You would
Right.
you would never hear an argument. But if you privatize it all, right? People would just choose to go to get the skills they wanted, and if it was privatized, companies would look at these private institutions and judge them on their own merit, and people would make their decisions based on that.
I mean, like I have a solution for the $1.7 trillion in college loans. Like, go just allow people to bankruptcy them.
Yep. Well, as soon as that happens, the government will stop having their guaranteed loans.
Yeah, and then we'll get rid of all these liberal arts degrees, and most of these colleges will close down.
Yep. Like I'm 100% on board. Especially like all this theory bullshit. Actually, I want to transition for a sec, because you were in the stream when we were talking about this weird fucking language thing that's going on that I called it theory with a capital T, but this critical social justice bullshit does, right? They believe in this crazy thing about how language itself should be suspect, and it creates its own power dynamics. And then when you apply it, they change the language. I was just curious, Pinoy, did you understand that? Do you see the truth in that and how
I didn't hear this part because, like, again, I had fire engines and shit, right? You know what I mean? But like, as far as like the whole language thing is concerned, because like we were talking about this on Twitter today. I remotely agree, right, that, you know, there is a lot of terms in our language and way we address stuff that is that'll put negative connotations on things, but it's supposed to be that way.
It's not some conspiracy or some power dynamic thing to uphold some sort of oppressive culture. It's just the way we use words, right? That's
well, like
very,
culture.
very
Culture
plainly,
has to be oppressive.
Well, I mean, it can sometimes. You're kind of like sidestepping my point. Is the way we use words. Most of the time, we're using words to describe something that is a reflection of the reality we live. Right? That's what me and you would use words for. And those words could be oppressive. But we didn't design language to be oppressive. Right? Like, we actually design language to be oppressive or not oppressive. Right? Language really is supposed to be a way for us to communicate, to discover what we would say is like a very academic level. We can use our words to describe something and agree that, yeah, that's a real thing, right?
Yeah.
Like we can talk to each other about what happens when two cars going 60 miles per hour collide head on.
Right.
And we can come up to some sort of understanding about the results of such a collision. And that is objective knowledge, right? Like, everybody in the world's going to agree on what happens on that. And that the language we're using to describe such a thing is universal. Like, anybody that looks at it, they're going to find a way to describe that because there's an objective thing happening.
Well, yeah, I mean, but like the thing is like, you know, what they're talking about is, you know, like, for instance, when a dude speaks up, right? You know what I mean? And a dude stands here and, like, you know, like, really starts speaking sternly. He you know, we say he's speaking sternly, right? But when you're talking about, you know, fucking females and they start speaking sternly, we say it's a shrill, right? It's more of a shrill tone because that's how they sound. It sounds like nails on a fucking chalkboard. Right. And they're like, that's oppressive. We shouldn't say that. Or we shouldn't say that, like, females are bossy, you know what I mean? And dudes are, you know what I mean, fucking authoritative, you know. But the reality is that, like, it's natural for individuals to want to follow men. And when a female starts talking all that rah-rah bullshit without any ability to back it up, physically. Like we all stand here and go like, yo, she just, being bossy and being a bitch.
Yeah. Well, and one of the bigger points, like overarching what you just said, is that you should be allowed to make that observation because there are differences between these sexes. You should be able to have that opinion. Not necessarily even opinions. You could have sets of facts to support what you're saying, and it not be immediately dismissed as being like you're just a fucking misogynist, even though you are Tom Pinoy. But
yes, I'm absolutely
yeah. But I'm saying but like people should be able to talk about that in an academic manner to say like there's real differences, and we have proof.
Right, but as men, right, you know what I'm saying? Like when me and you or me and somebody else are speaking, like as dudes standing in the same area, right? Like when men speak between one another, right? And you're not super familiar, or maybe you are, it doesn't really matter. There's always an era and a tone of violence to it, right? Like there's always that unspoken level of where, you don't step into this fucking realm where I'm gonna fucking punch you in the fucking mouth, right? And females in particular, and this is where this academic shit comes into, and weaker men really fucking feel some sort of kind of way about the fact that they go, oh man, it's societal, that, these individuals here, like, that fucking our society has bred that. And it's not a societal thing. It's a natural thing between animals. And like, that's the part that fucks me up is they go, we're animals, we should be able to be comfortable with our bodies and all this bullshit, right? And then they go, but we're not animals. Like you should fucking completely control yourself at all fucking times and have these fucking rules. And I'm like, no, don't work fucking both ways, bitch. Like, no, you can't fucking dictate interactions and shit.
Hey, am I
Agreed.
there? It's about time.
You either accept.
Hey, Joshua.
Hi, Josh.
Welcome. Finally.
Figured
I've
out.
tried to drag
I
you
think
into it
the whole-
1,000 times. Josh.
Shit's still fucked.
Say,
Man, I've been trying to get on this whole time.
Say, Josh, say, I'm good, nigga.
It's been sitting here showing my green icon, but it just doesn't show up in YouTube at all.
Yeah, you're good now. I hear you.
But I don't like that either. That whole
Shit, I wasn't trying to leave. I just wanted to get off that like screen and shit.
Yeah, just both devices doing the exact same thing. It was creepy.
Well,
Yeah.
I'm just gonna skip because I want to get onto other topics that I couldn't talk about on the stream.
Good.
So I'm gonna summarize just a little bit. Whenever we're sitting there talking about the way they use language in power dynamics, it actually, like, once you understand that, it makes total sense how they're trying to redefine language in words.
Okay. What else?
God damn it, one sec.
All right. I'll cover for you. Anyway, so Joker, man, you know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like, you may have a better understanding than like everybody else here, other than me, about some of this shit. Like just in general.
I'm just as confused as everyone is just I try and rationalize everything better with this whole. They, as you said, we're animals, so we should be comfortable with our own skin, but don't do that kind of mentality. It's just the minute that a guy sits here and acts comfortable, it's like, how dare you be comfortable?
Yeah. I mean, that's kind of the point, right? Is that, like when it comes down to it, like they don't want to have individuals, right, who, are of the male persuasion and like moving that way, because they don't want to fucking stand here and see dudes continue to be in charge. So they want to take away the parts of fucking men that are fucking, you know what I mean, allow them to be in charge and that allow them to run things. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I understand.
Like, and that's kind of where it's at. Is they're trying to dictate, you know what I mean? They're going, oh, well, you know, fucking, like, they want to take away the power of just the male in general. And that's like, all right, and I'll be honest with you. The vast majority of this shit is just people who are mad at their dad. That's really what this is.
I can see it.
Yeah, that's all this bullshit really is. You know, and that's why I don't take it fucking seriously. You know what I mean? That's why I'd be like, whatever, man. I don't fucking care about the social justice nonsense. I just don't care about fucking like most of this fucking garbage nonsense that they talk, because it's really just a bunch of women and a bunch of bitch ass dudes who are upset at their pops and are pissed off that they got fucking like wedgies when they were fucking in junior high school and got smacked with a towel and motherfucking, you know, the goddamn locker room and shit, you know? And they ended up like studying and motherfucking becoming good at school in the same way that we all became good at sports, or we became good at, you know what I mean, something in our fucking lives and ended up becoming successful, you know what I mean, at things. And when you end up becoming successful, you know, it gives you confidence. And these individuals, the only way they're able to have confidence is by tearing down, you know what I mean, the individuals who, you know what I mean, they feel as though harm them throughout their life.
Yeah, and I guess that's what kind of makes me the wild card and all that, because I was the nerd. I was the guy that everyone picked on, and I was, depending on the course, I was okay to pretty good in school. But there's no point that I'm gonna say like, hey, we need to stick it to the people that were good at sports that made their living busting their ass, using their strength and whatnot. Nah, it's like if you're good at something, like let them thrive in what they're good at, not sit here and try and hinder them, making it harder for them to succeed just because you got messed with when you were a kid. Like everyone should have a chance to
Be successful.
yeah.
I feel you. Yo, Excel, you all right now, nigga?
Yeah, I'm back. Dude, I like all of a sudden the hiccups hit me real hard. I was like, what the fuck, god damn it. And like I went and just drank a bunch of water and I'm good now.
When it comes to my stance, I'm a firm equality of opportunity. Like everyone should have equal chance to succeed, not equality of outcome, which a lot of these people tend to believe.
Well, like, you know,
no, they believe in equality of outcomes and they do it in the worst fucking way possible. They decide that the equality of outcomes has to be based on very specific defined social groups.
Right. I mean, like, yo, I hate equality of opportunity too, I'll be honest with you.
Well, yeah, right. Equality of opportunity is bullshit. It's the wrong term to say. It's really what we have to say is equality under the law. Like, whatever situation you're born in, like, we're not going to inhibit you. It, like, definitely, you will have an advantage if you are born into a rich, white, well-connected family. You will have the same advantage in a rich, black, well-connected family, or a rich Asian, well-connected family, right?
You will have an advantage if you're rich.
Yeah, but like, and there's plenty of things to be said about like there's ill-gotten gains going on in society, but it's not as prevalent as I think most people think it is. At the end of the day, though, like the people that go from zero to hero, they all have the same obstacles. Sorry, it's like it's in today's society. There's not some like ominous systemic racism stopping you from being super smart and doing the right things and getting yourself on top of the world. It's just not there. It's not a thing.
Yeah, I understand. I understand that all too well because growing up, I spent a good chunk, well, all of my middle school and good chunk of my high school in like special ed and resource because had emotional issues and learning disability.
Look, I'm right
And
there with
I
you. I'm right
did
there.
my butt out of special ed.
Well, I'm saying I'm right there with you. Like I'm fucking 36 years old right now, and I am just now like a well-standing middle class society person of society. I spent almost all of my 20s being super poor and like relying on my parents for everything. I understand this, which is that's something Tom P never did. We've had these conversations, right?
Yeah, because
Eventually, I had my come to Jesus moment where like I need to be a goddamn fucking adult.
Yeah, but yeah, that's the thing is like like I grew up immensely poor, right, with like nothing. So like the moment, like I hated.
Yeah, I grew up lower. I grew up lower middle class. You grew up in poverty.
Right. I hated being a kid. So like the moment I became an adult and I could like they said, "Oh, you're free to go." Like I was like, "What? Yes, of course." And I stood there and went and made as much fucking money as I humanly could. And I was making 50 grand a year by the time I turned 25 years old.
Yeah, like even at my level, like I mean, some of it was similar. I don't live in the Northeast, but like when I was like, I just had a bad year and I didn't flunk out of college. I just stopped. I didn't sign up for classes one semester. That's it. That's all that happened. And it should have been my last semester, but I took a job because I was on a break, making $12 an hour. That was more money than I ever had my entire fucking life. Like I got those paychecks every 2 weeks for like $800, and I was like, "Holy shit, man! I'm fucking rich."
Yeah,
like that was fucking money to me. Because I never had that kind of money in my hands. That was just mine to spend.
Yeah, once you get a paycheck for 2 weeks and it's like fucking 3 grand, you're like, yo, I don't want to ever go back to like making garbage again. You know what I'm saying? And like you get to the point where like you're making more money than your parents did and your parents do, and you're like, yo, I'm fucking good. Like, yo, fuck this shit.
Like, Lee Fuentes has a hilarious question in the chat. Does anyone remember in 1800? People learn music by playing the music instead of just looking at a music sheet. The answer is no, because I was not alive in 1800. Were you, Pinoy? You remember that shit?
I remember back in like the 1970s when like rock musicians, they never learned any goddamn fucking sheet music. They just copied what the fuck somebody did until they made the motherfucking instrument make the same noise.
That's actually how most musicians learn. I'm gonna be real honest.
I learned how to play music with sheet music. I'll be real with you.
Yep. I learned a little bit of sheet music, but even like when I was taking lessons on music, eventually they got away from the sheet stuff. They're like, nope, I couldn't read sheet music right now.
Well, like I can
the lesson I learned.
I played like 4 instruments and shit when I was a kid. You know what I mean?
Well, I would say the lessons I learned that were more functional about like the actual how to play the instrument, they took me further than reading sheet music ever would have. Yeah, like I can play keyboard pretty well. Like I actually tested it again last night. Had a bunch like some of my old bros over, including my old drummer from my old bands, and pulled out the keyboard, started playing some songs, and I was like, God, I can still play this shit. I'm amazed. After 6 years, nobody ever taught me how to play keyboard.
It's like riding a bike, and like
that's also why my voice is a little bit shot tonight. We got real drunk and we're playing songs and we were singing along together.
I got you. Right. Like, yeah, I mean, like at the whole, I don't know, man, like the whole thing, as I said, like I really do think the whole thing is legitimately just a bunch of people who are mad at their dad, right? And like, they're just upset about the fact that they got wedgies, and I mean, they feel as though like they should be more successful than they are because like they never saw the work for anything. You know what I mean?
Man,
Like they
like
don't understand the grind.
on like the bigger scale of what I think is going on with people that are adopting this, I agree. That's the plebs that buy into this bullshit. I think at the upper echelons, it's more insidious than that.
I think at the upper echelons, I don't think there are upper echelons.
No, I'm
Legit.
sorry. It's
I don't think
basically
there's upper echelons.
it's basically just a continuation of how no matter how many times Marxism fails, there's always this batch of people in academia that are trying to promote it and
Okay.
infiltrate and make sure it goes on.
Well, no, I don't even think it's that. I think legitimately, like, this is a systemic problem because of the fact that we put too many colleges in, and we have people who have been cradle to grave in the goddamn college system. And they don't know anything about anything other than school and that unnatural environment that's created, and they've learned to thrive in that.
Well, and they hold their fucking like the fact like I went to college and I'm smart in front of everybody, and it was like, no, that's what makes you dumb. Fucking
Like,
idiot.
You're never like, and this is what I've always said is you're never gonna break the mold if you fucking continue to fucking be being poured out of it.
Yeah, you got spoon fed everything you fucking know. I still am gonna do the same thing I've said to you a million times. There's certain topics I believe that it's fine, right? Like if you're an actual scientist and that's all you focus on, sure. If you're an engineer, sure. Real medicine, sure. All that other shit that people go to school for, no, it's horse shit.
Garbage.
Dude, that's the reason why. That's the reason why I'm thankful for my grandfather, because like he never really taught me anything. He made me learn for myself. Like that's the reason why I know how to build a computer. Because when I was like 7, 8 years old, I father for a computer. I went like, hey, my dad's got a computer. You got a computer. My grandma's got a computer. I want a computer too. So he gave me 3 broken computers and a box of parts and said, if you want one, build one. I'll give you the software, but you're gonna build it yourself.
And let me be real with you, man. Like, this has always been my problem with school, right? And this has always been my problem with like the mentality of mental health. I think it inhibits people more than it helps them, right? Like, I think you'd be stronger today if you didn't go through all that special ed bullshit in school, right? And that creates a lot of this nonsense too. Like, a lot of this shit is it's a fucking loop that just feeds itself. And it's not intentional. It's just these fucking people suck, and government sucks in general because they have zero tools to deal with anything.
Well, yeah, and even like certain teachers, they're trying to speak out or whatever. We read on Irate stream at the end. It was very long-winded, but like you have a person that's a university professor at a state-ran school, right? I mean, it's the University of Berkeley, but even the colleges are mostly funded by the public education budget. And he just sitting there. He wrote a letter being like, I'm gonna say some shit, and the reason I'm writing this anonymously is because I think I'm gonna get fucking fired.
Yeah.
That's how schools work.
Well, like, all right. I was thinking today, right? Actually, I've been thinking for a couple of days. That last stream that I did, right? We had a conversation on that stream about police and the fucking methods they use to shut people off, right? Like, all they have is a gun and a taser, basically. I mean, they got like pepper spray, but really that shit's garbage, right? I think we need new methods to shut people off, right? Like, we need like a Theranos patch where you can just like stick it on somebody and like it shoots you full of ketamine and like it shuts you down. And like I was talking with,
You went
Right.
right, please out with like basically train darts.
yeah, like but like, trank darts are garbage, right?
Yeah,
Like trank darts suck.
unfortunately, that would like cross a line on chemical warfare. It's fucking like really stupid how they have that all set up.
Well,
Actually, I want to transition a little further to.
Well, hang on. Let me finish this up, right? Let me finish this up real quick because I was having a conversation with a female, right? And this female looks at me and goes, "You know, if they start doing this, they're just going to start raping women." And I couldn't argue with her and go, "No, they wouldn't," because I bet you they fucking would. That's how fucked up our system is.
All right, can I skip ahead to something I want to talk about, but I haven't been able to talk about? But I think you did a little bit. Kyle Rittenhouse.
Yo, I did a whole stream about this dude.
Oh.
I know, but I wasn't able to join. I'm like, holy shit! Like, the information that is being spread by mainstream media is such fucking bullshit. GoFundMe actually canceled his legal defense fund, but you know what they did do? They had the charity fund that they promoted on their Twitter, their own words, heroicizing one of the people that Kyle shot, saying that he was trying to take down an active shooter, and he's such a hero. It's such bullshit. Like, you watch all the videos, the dude's running the fuck away in a chaotic situation, and people are coming at him while he has a loaded fucking gun, and all this extracurricular shit about did he leave his place with a gun? Did he come across state lines to come to the city? It's all bullshit. It doesn't matter, right? If you're in a situation where you got a fucking rifle and you're trying to run away and disengage you from a situation, and people are coming after you and they caught up with you, shoot the motherfuckers. I'm sorry. Like, you don't need to gamble on your life for the sake of hoping that this person's not gonna fucking kill you and catch up to you. It's the same thing with like a lot of this cop bullshit. Like, cops are not expected to gamble to their life when somebody that was in an altercation, which it turns out later, the person actually tried to fight the cops. They tried to fucking taser him. It didn't work. And the dude, like, they already had guns pulled on this guy. And he casually, like, walks into his car and reaches down into the car. And then they shoot him. Right? The cops are not expected to be like, oh, he was just reaching for, I don't know, like a fucking little Acme sign saying, hey, don't shoot me, I'm peaceful. Right? They don't fucking know. They don't have to wait until the last goddamn minute to find out whether it's a gun or not after all that shit.
Okay, first off, I want to say it looked like he was getting in his car to leave.
I don't know what the fuck he was trying to do. I just know that, like, if it was true that he like had the cops in a chokehold and was fighting them, they tried to taser him and it didn't work, and he just ran into his car where the cops had their fucking gun out, and he went into his car. I'm sorry, like, I just don't. If we're gonna have actual cops in our society that are trying to enforce the law, they should not be expected to put their lives at risk more than necessary. And at some point, like at that point, like I think that line was drawn.
I feel you. I think it was drawn. I do.
Like I hate doing this. I don't like fucking cops. Actually, I like the idea of cops. I hate the laws. I
agree with you.
But in that situation, like
I
don't know what he was trying to do, but like if all that shit really happened beforehand,
I mean, like,
and he just runs into his car and reaches down, like I don't think they should have to wait until he either, like, here's the situation. He gets into the car and leaves, nobody dies, or he reaches into his car, pulls out a gun, and shoots a cop. Like, I don't think the cops should have to wait until the gun is out
All right. Well,
Because at that point, the cop could die too.
Here's the two problems that I have. Right. All right. Number one, I agree with Sweden's model. Right. And Sweden, if you escape jail or you try to resist arrest, it's not an extra charge. Right. Because you're supposed to want your freedom. And I like that mentality. Right. Because, like any man would stand here and try to fight to like fucking escape fucking jail if they had the opportunity or escape custody. Right. The second half is like, yo, I don't like the fact that the cop shot him 7 times in his fucking back in front of his fucking kids.
Yeah,
That aggravates me.
I have mixed feelings about a lot of this shit, and I understand. And it goes like back and forth between if cops are supposed to do what we want them to do, which is stop people from having their rights violated, that's great, right? I want cops that do that. And I also want them to be able to do their job and not have to worry about losing their life. Well, actually, they're going to have to worry about losing their life regardless. I don't want them to have to gamble in weird situations like that. At the same time, like
trank darts, dude, trank darts.
Yeah, at the same time, like, yeah, I think that's a good one. Fuck tasers. That's bullshit. If somebody's fucking with you, trank dart them.
Yeah, like that way. Not only that, like they can't give a statement if they're tranked.
Yeah, you know why? Well, you know why they can't use trank darts? It's gonna kill some people.
I don't care. Tasers kill some people. Guns kill a whole lot of people.
Less. That's the thing, though. They have tasers and trank darts. Tasers kill very few people, which is why so many people can just eat a taser and walk away. And then guns kill everybody. Trank darts will kill more people than a taser, but at the same time, give way less than a gun. But like, in the society we live in, they don't give a shit. Like, if somebody dies from anything the police do, regardless of how reasonable it is, especially if it's a black person dying, we got rights.
Well, again, like even if it's not so much like it's gonna kill him, it'll make him more docile. Anything, you know what I mean? Like just to fucking stop this stupid shit.
I have a question.
What up?
Hi, Vash.
Hey, how's it going? Sorry it took me an hour. I was out doing some shit because
you showed up.
This is the slowest I've ever heard Vash talk. How high are you?
Yeah, you showed up just in time for me to be like, well, I'm only going to do this for like another 10, 20 minutes.
Yeah, I feel like I gotta go to bed myself.
But my main question though is, let's say that you own a business, right? And the rioters destroy that business and you got to close your doors over that. Would that not be considered violence toward?
Yes, it's violence. Like,
yes.
I mean, I have a position that the left would hate. Destruction of property, that's a reasonable cause to me to fucking shoot somebody down.
Kill you.
Like, I would say, like, look, if you guys destroy my property, I'm going to shoot you. And they continue on, shoot them. Like, it's one of those things where it's not that I like the fact that people are dying based on, like, a lot of these people, like, they've just been, well, actually, all the people that died were, like, pedos and criminal theories, are, like, actual criminals in other manners, and the Kyle Rittenhouse shooting. But I think a lot of these people showing up to these protests are just misled and brainwashed by the shit that I'm talking about on Irate stream. Nonetheless,
yeah,
you have to, if a civilized society is going to exist, you have to make private property rights sacrosanct. That includes protecting yourself and everything you own. And if people want to violate that and they lose their life in the process of violating that, it sucks that they made that choice, but we can't let it go on.
You play shit games, you get shit prizes.
I had a leftist that was not only trying to say that it wasn't violence because anything that was destroyed can be replaced, and if you're a small business, then insurance should cover you. And
Not necessarily.
Yeah, that's some really dumb shit used to justify writing. Right? Like even if it was 100% true, what that would turn into is that the cost of insurance in these cities where the government is allowing all the writing they want would go through the fucking roof.
Yeah. I mean, it's on a level now where like I have like legitimately like I've had to go like tomorrow I have to go drop off a load in Chicago, but I have to drop it off in Bolingbrook at like our local yard because we're not allowed to take anything into these areas anymore.
Yep, I heard all about it with truckers saying that like, yeah, these places where shit's just out of control, we're not going there anymore.
Yeah, like the insurance companies don't want us going there at this point.
And they wouldn't.
I also sent you the conversation Excel just to show you the amount of crazy that I've been dealing with for the past like 4 fucking hours.
Yeah, I mean, like, yo, look, you can't like, man, listen, where I come from, like, legit, you can die stepping on somebody's Pumas. Like, that's just normal.
I can't log into Facebook, Vash. I'm sorry.
It's cool.
I don't have one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't have Facebook either. Fuck that shit. Right, but like legit. You know what I mean? Like,
but I'm all about that MySpace. Let's go back to MySpace, everybody.
Like, yeah, like, yo, I use like it's normal for us to like die for our fucking chain, our hats, our coats, our shoes. That's normal. At what point did it become okay to destroy somebody else's shit?
I've seen a motherfucker get stabbed.
Like they literally are saying that destruction of property is not violence, and that's how CNN is trying to frame things when they have their guy on the ground in front of buildings burning, saying this fiery but mostly peaceful protest. ...
Yeah.
Like when CNN, like you remember when CNN got attacked in Atlanta?
Yeah, they all of a sudden they changed their tune.
Yeah. Like this is,
whoa. It's okay if you do it in other people's backyards, but not in ours.
Like, yo, I don't know like how or why CNN would think it would be okay to defend this bullshit.
Yeah, I've said it.
Semantic argument of like destruction of property versus actual physical violence towards someone. I get that. That's semantics, though. If you are destroying my livelihood, if I have to close my doors for my fucking business, you have psychologically damaged me with the damage that you have done. You have monetarily and psychologically fucked with me because now I'm going through that fucking anxiety of how am I going to pay my fucking bills?
You know what? I'm sorry, Bash. Fuck that. I don't even have to have your psychology to be any part of this. Like natural law, reason, and philosophy, like from the Enlightenment era, something I've been talking about constantly, is we talk about how individuals, they have their right to themselves and their property, and like they are in and of themselves their own property. We are all individuals. We own ourselves, and by extension, we own our property. So violence against our property, destruction of our property, is violence against us. It's actual violence. Like there's no way around that. I'm sorry.
Well, and here's the thing, even if the insurance covers it, you're still gonna have an out-of-pocket fucking upfront deductible you gotta
Yeah.
pay.
Yeah.
Like,
Well,
yo, you're literally costing me money.
Yeah, and once again, if the norm is like, oh, we can write all we want so long as these places have insurance, how many insurance companies are going to cover people in those places? None.
Like, how many times has, like, yo, I'm gonna tell you what, it gets flooded out here, right? River, it floods. Do you know how many people did not get paid for fucking the flood damage and shit? Because the insurance companies go, well, it cost us too much money.
Yeah,
how many
they
people
say
in Katrina, they were like, no.
They'll be like, act of God.
Yeah.
Like some weird shit that's just like in the insurance thing that nobody reads. Which they should, by the way.
And like with the police not stopping the rioters, they'll go, well, like fucking, oh, well, you know, it's not our motherfucking fault that, you know what I'm saying, you're fucking shit or.
This is how bad it is. So, like, everybody said they were trying to subdue an active shooter with the Kyle Rittenhouse thing. Kyle Rittenhouse ran away and he was running directly to the cops to be like, I'm going to turn myself in. And even after the first person he shot, he called 911.
Oh, yeah.
And they didn't want to do shit. Yeah. They didn't want to help him. Like, there's nothing they were going to do. They ignored his fucking ass. And he's like, I don't know what to do. I guess I'm going to go home. And then they're like, he finally got picked up after they're like, I have a warrant for your arrest.
That's another thing. Other thing that pissed me off is like I'm seeing this stuff on Twitter. Some of these people talking about how he deserves the death penalty and stuff, and I tried to explain the situation, but he ran away, and I went, "Look at the footage. He went to the cops after he shot these people, and then they went, nope. Go home, kid."
Just call them liars. They're fucking liars. That's all there is to it.
If
like
they don't care.
At first you can ask the question. So, at what point does somebody who's running away from a situation have the right to defend themselves? And as a civilian, what means can you use, right? Because as a regular civilian, the only thing that you can do that you know is going to work is shoot. That's it.
Well, yo, it's really simple. Like, yo, if they're coming, like, yo, look, legit. If it's your neighborhood, right? It's your neighborhood. You should be able to buck down anybody who fucks with you. It's that fucking simple. There should be no need to retreat. It should be automatic. Like, yo, look, you keep to yourself, I'll keep to myself. And if you continue to try to fuck with me, you know what I'm saying? I will deliver lead to you.
That's stand your ground doctrine, which wasn't even in Wisconsin. Every instance of this dude, like, shooting somebody, he was running the fuck away from him until he couldn't run away anymore. Every instance. Every single one. That's why, like, you ask him the question, is like, at what point does somebody with a loaded firearm they're legally carrying, which, as a matter of law, if you disagree with the fact that somebody can legally carry it doesn't even matter to legally. Like, if you disagree with the fact that somebody can carry a loaded firearm, doesn't matter because we live in America. People can, right? So, at what point does somebody that has a loaded firearm, at what point, when they're running away from a situation and people get chasing them, at what point do you actually have the right to turn around and actually shoot the person chasing you down? Right? Do you have to wait until they grab you, actually reach for the gun, gamble on the fact that they took the gun, assume that when they get the gun that they're not going to shoot you? Like, these are all questions that they will not answer.
Well, like, yo, really, again, it gets back to they're just justifying their bullshit.
Well, exactly.
That's all it is. Because they do the same thing.
Yeah, if it was the opposite and you don't see it, right? Proud Boys don't show up to fucking, like, left-wing events to disrupt them and start shit.
Actually, that's part of their initiation ritual, though.
And the Proud Boys?
Yeah,
no.
They can't instigate the fight, but they have to be in a fight.
No, they just get beat up naming cereal names. It's not like I know enough. I'm certain they don't have to get in a fight with, like, left wingers in order to be part of the Proud Boys.
Well, I mean, that's what I was hearing. Like,
Yeah, that's not true. It's absolutely not true.
Yeah, more this fake news garbage.
yeah. I mean, I don't I don't really spread it around, but that's what I was hearing.
Yeah, it's not the
But
case. I mean, I will say, like, you have these right wing groups that are more willing to fight back. And when you have these
I
right
don't know.
wing groups that are willing to fight back, you're going to have some people that are hot headed that are going to cross the line between fighting back and just initiating violence. And I've seen that from the Proud Boys. But that's just a natural, that's an expected response to the chasm that we've created.
Yeah, I don't
And another thing,
understand why more people aren't doing it.
Because the
things
two-tier
that people
justice
aren't.
system. In these cities,
Another thing
oh, go on, Joker. Sorry.
that they're not talking about this whole Kyle situation is the first thing is in the community we're calling out the surrounding communities to ask people to come in to help protect their community. Also, this kid was there for multiple days giving medical aid and helping protect businesses and whatnot,
Yeah, well, it was
and he hasn't fired a shot.
yeah, one of the
Uh,
funny things there was like, why was he wearing sanitary gloves? And I was like, dude, there's videos of him cleaning the fucking city beforehand. Like, he's wearing sanitary gloves because he was fucking scrubbing up dirty shit. That's it.
He was scrubbing graffiti.
Yeah, I know. It's pretty fucking simple. Like, a lot of people when they clean, like my mother when she cleans her own fucking house, a lot of times wears gloves.
Well, a lot of this stuff that takes like paint off is real like fucking caustic. You know what I mean? So like you can't really get it on your skin, so you have to wear rubber gloves when you fucking use it.
Yeah, because if you're doing it, yeah, because if you're doing it for too long and you get on your hands, like it's gonna fuck your hands up. Like it's gonna hurt. You're gonna cause like chemical burns and shit like that.
Yeah.
That was it. That was all there was to it.
Yeah, man. Look,
they had this other thing.
Is...
They had this other thing that was super irrelevant. That they thought he carried a gun across state lines. Like, even if that's true, maybe there's a gun charge there, but it has nothing to do with self-defense whatsoever. Turns out it's not true. He got the gun from another Wisconsin gun owner, and apparently under Wisconsin statute, at least as interpreted by the person that loaned him the gun, he was a 17-year-old that they gave a long rifle to that was allowed to have that gun in their hands. It was actually more for hunting laws, but nonetheless, like, there wasn't a law against a person that was the age of 17 having a gun that was registered by a Wisconsin gun owner give to a 17-year-old so long as it was a long rifle, which it was, that could be used in hunting.
I mean, look, again, at some point, we're going to have to stand up and buck down these leftists. Like, it is what it is.
Yeah, no, like we just saw the first major bout of this. There was a firing at like I think it was one of Milo's.
It was like down in Texas or some shit.
Well,
Arizona.
there was a Milo event too, where somebody tried to lunge after one of the people that were going were showing up to try to see Milo speak, and a person pulled out a gun and shot the guy, but it wasn't deadly.
Yeah.
And that guy turned himself in. The other dude was in the hospital, recovered just fine. But we're gonna see more of it as long as you allow this shit to go on in these cities. Like, as soon as you say like cops are gonna stand down and we're not gonna protect your private property rights, what do you expect is gonna happen? Like, there's a line that's gonna be drawn. We're gonna see more of this shit. Like,
everyone's gonna move. Like, I think the best thing that could happen is everyone moves out of these cities.
Yeah, retreat.
Yeah, well, that's what people are doing. People are moving out of these cities where the governors or mayors and whatnot are saying that it's okay for these rioters to riot, and moving to communities where Like even the sheriffs and mayors and governors just saying, hey, if someone tries to break into your business or your home, you have every right to blow their brains out.
Yeah, the scary part about that though is the people that are moving into these cities, I have no confidence that they're not going to just vote for the same bullshit policies that made the city they left the city that was so shitty that they had to leave. Like, they're just gonna move to Texas and turn Texas into fucking Portland. Am I wrong?
I don't know, man. Like, I feel like we should legitimately like have a conversation. Like, maybe we should all like go to like where the fuck, you know what I mean? Like, there's other people like us.
Yeah, or you're talking about the whole retreat strategy where we should all just be like, all right, here's the place we're gonna go, and we're gonna develop our own land, do our own shit, and make our own communities, and
I mean,
hopefully
cities are the problem, right?
I know a couple of places, if you got 50 grand, that you could have like a 10-acre piece of land.
But yeah, like
Yo, I know places
right
that got
now,
10.
right now, there's expatriate places where you can go to Puerto Rico, and on like 50 cents on the dollar, actually it's more like 20 cents on the dollar, live a life of luxury, and not have to pay any income taxes to the American government when you move there. You don't even need a fucking passport.
I feel you.
Let's do it. Let's
Yeah.
just go. Let's
Yeah,
just.
what about the whole
You know what? You know what, Tom P? We're gonna do it this year. Let's just get the fuck out.
Yo,
Let's move to Puerto
yo,
Rico.
look, seriously, I have been trying to find a place. Puerto Rico is garbage. It's a socialist state too.
No, it tries to be. It can't be.
It is.
No, because they don't have statehood. They don't collect
You
enough
have
money
to,
in
yo,
taxes.
look up the amount of fucking people living on fucking welfare there.
Yeah, I know. It's shitty, but they don't have the resources. And if you're an American citizen, you can just go there, stop paying the federal income tax. You pay about 4% to the Puerto Rican government, and that's it.
Yo, that's only at a certain motherfucking amount of money. You have like, yo,
Hey,
Peter Schiff
I
did
know
it.
you know what I'm talking about because Peter Schiff was like praising move to Puerto Rico.
Yeah,
You
because
can't-
he's a millionaire.
you can't vote, but like you're gonna make more money. Yeah, it's all gonna go south because Puerto Rican statehood movement is actually gaining a lot of traction. And with all the millionaires moving to Puerto Rico, the government is going to be more and more likely to just say, yep, I'm going to grant you guys statehood because all of a sudden you have so many millionaires living there that it is a net profit for us to tax you as a state and leave you as a territory.
Yo, fuck that
I
shit.
love that kind of shit. I thought to away from this country.
Yo,
Hey,
look, I gotta
Josh.
go to. Yo, I'm going to bed.
Yeah, actually, I'm done here too. Bash, thanks for joining. Josh, thanks for joining. Full Metal Joker, thanks for joining. I know we kind of bullied the conversation.
Getting in here,
do-
man. I couldn't believe it.
I know, like your shit was fucked the entire time. Like we didn't
I
have
think
this.
it was you. My stuff's transmitting. My green light's over here on Discord every time I talk, and both devices are doing the exact same thing, and I'm showing up in the chat room.
It's because mobile's garbage, dude. It
Well,
does
no,
the same
I'm on
thing
my
to me.
PC right now. I'm talking over my microphone, listening to my surround sound.
Yeah, you're cool now, but I'm saying when you were on your phone, like when you're on your phone, the mobile shit is trash.
Yeah,
it
the
just
computer
wasn't
wouldn't even show up at all on YouTube or anything. It was just like I'm in the room, and I'm transmitting, but it's just not going through to
Like
the line.
and whenever somebody moves me and I'm on my phone, like fucking, I'm only there for a couple of seconds and I get bounced back out.
Yeah, well, I've been trying to transmit on my PC the whole time and just listen on an earbud, but it just didn't work out.
That happens. Anyway, yo, look, I gotta go to bed. So,
Yep.
like, Excel, you shutting this bitch down, man?
Yeah, I just want to leave in a couple notes. First off, yo, Tom P,
What up?
we'll do more streams in the future. Like, we don't have a regular schedule anymore.
Yeah, I know.
But I'm sure we'll have a real Pinoid life soon. As
Yo,
far as
I
this
want
stream
to
goes-
cover that. I want to cover that thing we were talking about.
Yep, I know.
Yeah, I love
think that'd be
Pinoy news. That's some good content over
We
there.
can
on that channel.
can you do Monday night?
Probably.
You do Monday night, I'm in.
All right. I'll see if I can make it work Monday
We're
night.
gonna do Monday night. I'll try to be in too.
Well, yeah.
All right.
Now this is between me and Tom Pinoid. He actually
Oh,
wants to debate me on
my bad.
something.
Okay, I thought this was live
Yeah.
stream.
Yeah, we're gonna have a conversation
No,
about
no, definitely show up. That's
microtransactions.
gonna be on actual Tom Pinoid's channel.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's gonna be a gaming show. Like
Uh,
it's gonna be about video games.
as far as what's
Hey,
going on,
dude, I used to be a hardcore gamer, like ATI. Building my own gaming computer and stuff back in the late '90s, early 2000s.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like it's gonna be a lot about like because I played like Madden and shit and that type of
Okay.
stuff,
I
right?
was all into like first-person shooters and stuff.
Yeah, I was always garbage at it. I played like Mortal Kombat and like 007 GoldenEye, but it was mostly just versing each other and getting really high. But this is about microtransactions and how like they legitimately have kids gambling at this point.
Oh yeah,
Yes, they do.
what you're talking about.
They fucking do with the loot boxes and all that.
Not like they legit have a roulette wheel now on the motherfucking on NBA K2 Live.
What?
Yeah.
I know exactly what the fuck you're talking about. And you know what? I got something to send you. I'm gonna send you in DMs right now.
All right, so Monday night on Tom P's channel, if you're interested in that topic, make sure you show up. As far as this channel goes, make sure you subscribe to Irate Prostate. The main topic of what we've been doing has been about applied postmodernism and the current critical social justice theory, which is something we all hate. For this channel in particular, what we decided on doing is we're not going to open up the live chat on Irate stream at all. We're just going to have the after stream on this channel. So maybe it'll grow, maybe it won't. I might not do the after stream every week, but I'll at least try to make sure I do it every other week, and I will hit up the usual suspects that are in the channel that want to talk. So, anybody else have any other final words?
Yeah, now that I'm starting to get the gist of this is my second time doing a live stream. My first time was a few weeks ago on Irate Prostate, and I'm going to try to be doing this a lot more regular now.
Yeah, man. Like, it sucks that you joined really late, but it's gonna be like the actual like opening up the chat. It's going to be on my stream, right here where we're at, and I want it to be kind of a continuation where people that watch Irate stream can come in and just put in their own thoughts, and then we can go on any tangent we want to. The biggest issue is that these topics are like so deep that even between the three of us, like me, Irate, and Atima, we can go on for 3 or 4 hours, right? Like we can go on.
I love it.
And like,
I really do.
Well, I'm saying like when we bring other people in, we find ourselves getting off on even more tangents than are necessary, and it's just too hard to keep the stream concise and on topic whenever you bring people in.
That's one of the reasons why I don't call in much, because it's just too interesting the way it is, and you're right, it kind of fits just the way it is without a bunch of call-ins.
Yep, but I also like being able to talk to people about like what we said, which is why my channel is going to be for after streams and random conversations, while Irate stream is going to be the main topic. So
yeah, sounds great. I'm in.
I've actually got a podcast that's going to be coming up in the works.
Because I did catch bits and pieces of the nice conversation, and it was tantalizing, buddy. Boy, like I said, I was desperately trying to get this thing to work on time.
Well, I'm going to go ahead and hit the end stream button. Once again, thanks everybody for joining me for a little after stream. And you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to make some fucking